What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and if you're enjoying the content here on my channel, then make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit subscribe so you can help decide what direction the content on my channel goes in the foreseeable future.
Robcore. Man, let me tell you something, now. Y'all know what's about to happen. The button. Yes, the button. The conclusion of the button. I can't talk too loud right now because I'm in a hotel room. I'm in Disney World. But man, let me tell you something, man. I would not normally stop going to Disney World to record something, but I will stop going to Disney World to record the button, man. Let me tell you something, man. If God was writing DC Comics right now, this is what it would look like right now. This is some of the best comic book writing that I've ever seen. And I've seen Jonathan Hickman write stuff. I am reading Jeff Johns' Green Lantern right now. This is such a good story. So, in the last video, we had picked up with the idea that Eobard Thawne was finally caught up to by Batman and Barry Allen the Flash. So it was almost like the events were just going to circle right back around to the beginning, right? Like, it was back to the scene where Eobard Thawne just kind of showed up in, the Batcave. He talked to Batman. They fought for a little bit for like the span of, 1 second or something along those lines. He disappeared, reappeared, ranted about seeing God, and then died. This gives us that cool moment. And this is what I love about Eobard Thawne. This is one of the things I love about his characters. Eobard Thawne is like fearless, right? I mean, he's arrogant, and he has every right to be. This story confirms exactly what we've been thinking, that Eobard Thawne is timeless in every sense of the word. Eobard Thawne, as we see him here, is the same Eobard Thawne that appeared in the Mark Waid stories, the old Mark Waid Flash stories, The Return of Barry Allen. This is the Eobard Thawne from Flashpoint. This is the Eobard Thawne from Flash Rebirth before DC Rebirth. This is the same Eobard Thawne that we've been reading for years and years and years. He's arrogant, he's coggy, and it works. But the crazy thing about all this is that in this moment, it's Barry Allen trying to reason with him, right? Like, it's Barry Allen trying to say, look, dude, if you keep down this path, you're going to die. But it's the cocky nature of Eobard Thawne coming right back to Barry and saying, you can't stop me. I'm timeless. Like, I've been killed and I always come back. I am part and parcel to the negative Speed Force. I am part and parcel to surviving. I will always find a way back. And he always does. But this is the one scenario where he can't. Now, again, the funny thing about Williamson kind of hitting back on the idea that this is the Reverse Flash that we've known for so long is when he starts referencing the things that he did to Barry Allen, going back in time, manipulating his life so that he would become the Flash. That was established by Jeff Johns during Flash Rebirth when Barry Allen was first brought back prior to the start of the New 52 and eventually DC Rebirth. We have Eobard Thawne talking about the idea of taking Barry Allen, going all the way back to the very early days when he first became the Flash, kidnapping him as a child, raising him as his own, and making him an acolyte, which begs the question, what would Barry Allen look like as the Reverse Flash? What kind of version of Barry Allen would we be seeing in that particular scenario? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're simply too late. Eobard Thawne arrives to the destination of where the button was taking him. And this is when we find out, kind of, who it was that he saw. Now, the way that Williamson does this is beautiful. It's so beautiful because all we get is Thawne just kind of talking to this person saying, hey, look, you've remained hidden from everybody. No one knows everything that you've done, but you can reveal yourself to me. I'm your friend. I can't be killed or anything like that. I'm the one constant. If anybody can understand what it is that you've done with time, it's me. Give me the knowledge that you have. And this is kind of funny because Williamson is playing it fast and loose here, because if you look, the indication is that Manhattan is in the button, that Eobard Thawne is literally talking to the button. Now, we as readers know that it's not necessarily that way. We as readers know that for the most part, this is really just the button operating as a key of sorts, in the sense that somebody grabs it, it takes them to a preordained location, and they meet Dr. Manhattan. And this is exactly what happened with Eobard Thawne. He meets Manhattan, but he's totally overwhelmed by the power that he's seeing. I mean, this is really kind of DC showing us where Dr. Manhattan stands in the realm of his capabilities. Now, the funny thing about this is that along the way, we get this disembodied voice that's basically saying, Barry Allen was the key to saving Wally West. Barry Allen can save me too. All he has to do is listen. Now, from the solicitations, when the covers were just being issued out to everybody, the implication here was that it was Jay Garrick. And the question was going to be, how will we get Jay Garrick back? Because keep in mind, Jay Garrick hails from Earth 2. He hails from the age of the golden age of superheroes, that universe, which is Earth 2. All the original superheroes from the 1930s, 1940s, even some in the early 1950s, that's all Earth 2. When DC revamped Earth 2 in the new New 52, Jay Garrick that we saw then was nothing like the one that we saw now. Totally different, completely removed, totally separate from the character we were used to. And so the idea here is that the Jay Garrick that we knew was just kind of lost in time. Now, this is not the first time that DC has done this. Remember, after Crisis on Infinite Earths, there was only one universe. And so in order to bring in Alan Scott, in order to bring in Jay Garrick, those various characters that had their run in the Justice Society of America, the JSA, as it was written by Geoff Johns, they had to find a way to roll them in into a universe that didn't have a multiverse, into one universe that the main DC heroes resided in. So it looks like they're going back to that. They're basically saying, hey, look, we've only got one universe here. I mean, Earth 2, that's already happened, whatever. We've only got one universe here. We have to find a way to bring Jay Garrick in. And that was my initial response. That was my initial thought. And I was hyped to see that. But kind of jumping back here to Eobard Thawne, the great thing about this is that he's just overwhelmed with power. And again, this is really just DC saying, here's how powerful Dr. Manhattan is. I mean, here's just the level of strength that he has, something hitherto unseen by Eobard Thawne. And you gotta remember, Eobard Thawne's fought everyone. Eobard Thawne has fought the Justice League. He's fought the Flash. He's fought some of the most powerful beings in the DC universe and come out on top. You know, heavy hitters like Superman and so on and so forth, they're nothing to scoff at. The fear that Eobard Thawne shows here is something that we've never seen. This is a childlike expression. It's the realization that he has stepped into uncharted waters, that he's called down the beast, and the beast has answered, and it's far more than Eobard Thawne ever expected. And in light of this, he effectively loses his life. Now, this is kind of crazy, because in this moment, Batman, having heard this disembodied voice of Jay Garrick, Barry Allen failing to pick it up, ultimately means that Jay Garrick makes his presence known when Barry finally acknowledges the sound of the voice, meaning that the memory of Jay Garrick is now alive and well, and Jay Garrick survives only through memories, meaning if Barry Allen can grab this memory and bring it into reality, then Jay Garrick will very much be alive, and this is what we get. Now, the reason why I love this particular moment in this comic book is because Golden Age superheroes, especially when they're drawn by Alex Ross, they invoke a kind of emotion, this visceral feeling that I can never shake every time I see it. I've said it a million times before, and I'll say it a million times again. There is this amazing shot that Alex Ross drew where you've got like the superheroes running towards the screen, and you've got Superman holding the American flag, and he's surrounded by all these other Golden Age superheroes. And it reminds you of an era when superheroes were truthful, when there was no moral ambiguity. It wasn't, well, maybe we're good guys, maybe we're bad guys. There were no anti-heroes. There were good guys and there were bad guys. The good guys did the good thing, the bad guys did the bad thing. They fought, the good guys won, the day was saved, and that was it. Jay Garrick is a return to that. Jay Garrick is a return to this era when superheroes walked a little bit taller, you know, when they were a little clearer, when they just kind of made you feel hopeful. And that's why Jay Garrick's return here is so significant. The saddest thing about this is that it's so short-lived. Jay Garrick tries to pull the same road that Wally West said, or Wally West appeared to Barry Allen and said, you have to remember me. If you don't remember me, I will be gone. I will die. That'll be the end of me. Of course, Barry Allen, trying his best, is not able to do it. But notice what happens here. Notice what takes place here. Jay Garrick doesn't really die per se, or at least it doesn't seem to be the case. Instead, he's just immersed in blue energy and whisked away. And so the indication seems to be here that Barry was going to remember who he was. Barry was going to remember him and say, oh, you're Jay Garrick, I remember you now. But in that fraction of a second before it happened, Jay Garrick was whisked away, presumably by Dr. Manhattan. And that begs the question, is Dr. Manhattan building his own army? Is he building his own superheroes, his own villains to go against the traditional DC superheroes? Is that what we're effectively going to see? The Justice Society of America versus the Justice League of America, with the JLA on the side of good and the JSA on the side of Dr. Manhattan. It begs that question. What are we going to see? Because I have a hard time believing that Jay Garrick will be brought back, as popular of a character as he is among the Flash family, and as many people have been looking forward towards his return. I have a hard time believing that he would be brought here and then just prominently whisked away, and that would be the end of him. But what this story does as it starts to wrap up is it basically looks at this entire event from the perspectives of the Flash, Barry Allen, and Batman, Bruce Wayne. From Barry Allen's ideology, he basically says, look, this case is far from over. This is not going to stop. I'm going to keep trying to find out who this person was that killed Eobard Thawne. Because remember, Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen, they don't know about Dr. Manhattan. They didn't see anything that Eobard Thawne saw. They don't know that Manhattan's out there. All they know is that some just wildly powerful force killed Thawne and whisked away Jay Garrick, or at least from their assumption, Jay Garrick seems to be dead, basically kind of dissipated, and that's really the end of him. But the other thing here, and this is what's so cool about this, is that Batman reflects on the words of his father, where his father says, "Find happiness. Do not be Batman. Go and be a father to your son. Leave that life behind, because it will only lead you down the road of anger and sadness, a life that's not worth having, a life that you really can't look back on and find any small measure of peace in." And so in the moment when the bat signal goes out, and when Alfred asks the question, are you going to respond to that? Batman just kind of drops his head, and it looks like Bruce Wayne will not be Batman. Is he quitting? Is he leaving? Is Damian Wayne going to take up the role? So many questions are presented here. And so in this last little bit, we have Dr. Manhattan picking up this button, and this is, God, this is beautiful. God, this is, man, let me tell you something, man. This is, this is gorgeous. Dr. Manhattan picking up this button, making this statement about how everything is preordained. Dr. Manhattan is a slave to time. He can't break time. He can't violate time. We know that perspective from before Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan. We covered that. We talked about that. You'll find that link down in the description. Dr. Manhattan is like, look, everything that I say and do is preordained. I can't break away from time. I'm as much of a prisoner of it as anybody else is. And so then the question has to be asked, is Dr. Manhattan being altruistic here? Is he doing what he believes to be the right thing? And if so, where does this road lead? What happens with all of this? It raises more questions than it answers. Damn it, if this is not one of the best stories that's ever been written in DC Comics. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and bring this video to an end. If you are new here to Comics Explained, make sure you guys hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. Again, I can't be too loud here. I'm in a hotel. I can't scream and shout. Otherwise, I'd be crazy hyped up about this. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and bring this video to an end, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.